have to rewind every day. So they took this idea of the quartz watch to the leaders of the Swiss watch industry and said, this is tomorrow. This watch is tomorrow. And they laughed at them. And they said, we are the best watch manufacturers in the world. There is nobody who can replace us. Later in the year, at the annual watch convention or conference in the United States, these two gentlemen presented their idea, and it was quickly taken up by Texas Instruments and Seiko of Japan. After that, the rest is history. Today, we all wear a quartz watch, and now it's going to the next level with Apple and various other watches coming in. So fundamentally, if you don't embrace technology, you will end up having to catch up. I won't say you will end up being the loser, but you will end up having to catch up, because technology is the new mantra for success. It's not new, it's very, very old, but is the only mantra for good long-term success. With that, I'm going to hand over to my friend Anil Porter, who will run you through a presentation. The plan is that he will finish his presentation. Please keep your questions ready. Enter them into the chat box on your screens, and we will take the questions one by one. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of questions, so we've kept almost 45 minutes for a Q&A session to make it meaningful for you and meaningful for all participants on this webinar. Over to you, over to you, Anil, and I'll catch up later now.
Thanks, Randeep. And I would like to thank my mentor and guru, Anil Parashar. Whatever that I do is the directions, thoughts that I receive from him. Before I start, Mr. Parashar has his view of how he looks at purely from a business perspective. Mr. Parashar, before I start with the technicalities, over to you.
Thanks, Anil. Thanks, Runip, and all our friends on the call. I'm, delighted that we could play a small role in supporting the big topic, as Runip you described as orbit. Going to orbit is literally like that. We get bombarded day in and day out. And I won't like to take much time because it's Anil's forum, really. I want to thank Anil to put this together along with all of you, as well as Ionos, who are our partners and significantly helped us. They're an artificial intelligence expert company, and they have helped us put this presentation together. As we all know, AI, as it's called, is a very complex subject. So we are trying to break it into phases. I know questions will come and they are welcome to come. I would only urge you to take this subject a step at a time because it is complex. Anil has broken the issue into some problems that are faced by yourselves. There is always a talk about people not required, and there's requirement of the cost and the safety and the governance and the controls and whatever you have. So I will not go into all of it. I just would welcome you all and hand over to Anil, and I will happily step in whenever it's required. Thank you, and over to you, Anil. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. Runip, should I be sharing it? I have the sharing.
Go ahead. You can share directly, yes.
Okay, just a minute. Just a confirmation. Hope my screen is visible. You can all see the presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see.
Great. Wonderful. So thank you, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. We kind of putting the context agenda has already been put in. So there have been multiple technological waves that have hit various industries. Rooney talked about the watch industry as an example. There's a famous example of uh, how you have to be relevant. Technologies will come, they will go. It's how you conduct business and how you evolve. Kotak, as a company who used to make film rolls, we know earlier, we used to carry these film rolls very carefully, take photographs. They were industry mammoth. After digital coming into play, digital cameras coming into play, we see that that particular company has vanished. Nokia, who was the leader when the mobile handset industry came out, mobile revolution started, nobody was able to touch them. See where they are. Apple is ruling the world, followed by Android, and they're no more to be seen. So there are enough examples. What really comes out is not technology, it is how you evolve. You have to adapt. You have to keep on moving forward. And I think the Darwin's theory, which has also changed, that it's the most adaptable who will survive. And I think that's the whole essence of when we go through this AI wave, so to call. What are the things that are happening? So, in nutshell, this is where it is. So, if I put in more perspective in terms of how travel industry overall has evolved over the years, I won't go back to 50s and 70s, but we've seen multiple eras. Most of the people on this call would have seen the CRS era. All of us are seeing or have seen the GDS when it started, internet era, mobile, social networks, and now the AI world. What has that brought? Two significant things. One, people who get onto that wave, they move to the next level. People who do not get, they get buried somewhere in the history. There are logos who are doing well, not doing well, people who have evolved, keep on evolving. While initially it used to take a lot of time for eras to change or shift. And I think what's happening now is with technological obsolescence increasing, the time it required to get onto a wave is significantly reducing, which means that you have to keep on being on the move, keep on adapting, keep on evolving, looking at how you conduct a business through multiple waves of technology. And we're talking about now the AI era, artificial intelligence or actual intelligence. Difference is not much. But I think from a technology standpoint, it is artificial. But from a human standpoint, it is always actual intelligence. Actual intelligence will never be overtaken by any technology. And I think that's how we need to look at various interventions that are happening and will continue to happen. How does it AI and our end consumer and customer, how he has evolved, how he's evolving even further, how knowledgeable he's getting, how researched. So we talked about various eras. 3, 4 years, 5 years back, it was called the data era. Data is what is something which is the new oil, so to call. What is this oil fueling? Information. Today's traveler is well informed. We know that for a fact. In fact, just to kind of give an equivalent correlation, whenever you try to visit an hospital because of any ailment or any trouble that you have, you are well researched. You look at what are the symptoms, what are the diagnoses, you're well informed. And then as finally you are approaching a doctor. Similarly, when a traveler decides that he would be traveling, or even if he's doing window shopping, he is well informed. There are more than enough channels that are available today to decipher the rates. Rate is never going to be an issue. He is already informed. There are meta searches available. There are AI bots available. There are so many direct websites, so many links, information that is flooded. He is more than informed and at times even better informed than any of us when he decides to approach any of the intermediaries. So these are the statistics. The statistics are not to psych you, but this is what the reality is. So there are enough and many choices that are available. It is the informed choice decision which travelers do. And this is going to get magnified even further. So the knowledge aspects come from this particular philosophy, which we are covering as part of our, I would say, main tenets of how we look at how to evolve AI or to use AI in certain use cases. What comes in? So, end of the day, we are here how AI or any technology for that matter helps or will help us or can help us. End of the day, we are all here to serve our customers. And obviously, we get our remunerations, our profits, our bread and butter from what he transacts through us. So there are various stages. With every technological evolution, those stages are only getting transformed. In IT industry, we talk about security. All of you also know that it is very important, secured systems. From an IT parlance, the next security is not about just information security. Information security is transforming into trust into systems. And that is also the key. And what stitches this slides, we know that there are breaches, there are hacks that happens, there are frauds that are happening. People are very skeptical when it comes to new links or new services. What is the fundamental thing which makes people skeptical is the trust factor. Today, if the systems or the technologies, solutions, platforms that we provide to our customers, they are not trustworthy, they will never be used. And I think this is the next, which is trust and human judgment, which really comes in from actual intelligence and the platform which is built using trustworthy technology, which deciphers myth from actuals. And this is the pyramid where information and transaction used to be an economy, basic stuff. What is the price that is coming? It's a commodity. Everybody knows this is the price, plus minus a few hundred rupees here and there. Ease of doing. There are OTAs, there are mobile apps. There are everything is led through people or through technology. Trust of human judgment. That's where it really comes in, and that's the value that AI cannot solely bring. And that is where the hybrid nature of work that we all do really brings in that value. You need a human, end of the day, when you need them the most, whether it is through irregular operation or some crisis that you go through. And that's the value. That trust and experience defines what is the loyalty, what is the repeat customers saying, how much delighted they are, and how do they transform, and how do you transform a business to really make it a brand. So I think this is the top three are the one which will define why will our customers continue to pay us. We're still not talking about technology, which is artificial intelligence, so to call, but these are the basics of going forward and always been how do you conduct a business, how do you get your remunerations. There are few use cases that we brought out that what's happening in the globe. There are certain, I would say, people who have evolved across the world in terms of what they've done. So Joker, who's a Belgium-based company, has implemented AI bots, which is basically to replace the static content form filling, information that can be given, where you really don't need a human to kind of tell certain things. Now, today, when travelers go, they go on to different, at least research says that a traveler, before taking an informed travel choice decision, goes on to 25 different intermediaries to look at every basic detailing of just not fares, brands, rules, fare rules, pricing, what is available, the ratings, how good that particular flight or an airline or a hotel property or a destination is, what are the various social feeds that are saying, reviews, peer reviews. So those are the things which are easily available. You don't need anybody or somebody to go through and explain this to our customers. So these are the low-hanging fruits which a lot of these companies which you see on your screen have done, whether it is about voice interactions, whether it is about having information dissemination, creating itineraries, or having support. So the first, or I would say the low-lying areas where AI can be quickly adopted, where the human intelligence is not really being used much, but you can leverage AI. So the purpose of putting this slide was that there is enough and more that is happening globally, also in India, where there are adoptions of agentic bots happening, just not only in the travel space, but also in a lot of other use cases. We know we've been hearing about technology businesses being hit big time with more and more companies adopting artificial intelligence, which is basically generative AI. Hope you would have heard this generative AI use cases, where coding is happening through machine. The low-lying basic coding, software engineering, which is basically code writing, is not being done by humans. It is done by machines. So the lower end, which doesn't add really any value to an individual or to the business or to the end consumers, are the one which are kind of perfect use case for AI adoption, and this is what is happening in the world. So the next market leader is not how fast they adopt to AI, but it is how best they pick up the right use case or the business problem which they want to solve using this technology. And this is the fundamental. Whenever there is a technology to be used, it has to first fit. Does it really solves your business problem? Does it adds value to you as an organization, as to people? If it does, then it is right fit. If it doesn't, it is not what you need to really invest your time and money on. AI, how we see in terms of artificial intelligence being used across the travel stage or journeys that we call it. So whether it is about inspirations, if we talk about Gen Z, Gen Y, Gen X, whatever you may call it. So as a matter of fact, if we see India as a country, the demographics of the country are so young, where almost close to 70% of the population is under 31 years of age. It's a very, very young country. Their inspiration, their aspirations, their way of life, how they look at things is hugely different than what you see on the panel, people who are conducting this webinar, because they come from a different upbringing altogether. They always prefer experiences. They want to live their life. They're not into the rigmarole of what we've as oldies gone through in terms of creating wealth or struggling to build up. They're more affluent. They have disposable incomes. This is the one reason why travel is booming, because they want to travel, just not within India, but across the globe. They want to travel, they want to experience life, they want to see new destinations, and they want to live life full size. So dream and discovery really comes from that aspirations. How can AI cut across various stages and bring value? Now, if you have to entice a dream as a tour operator, you don't need to kind of go through, you really don't need to kind of explain things. You have to leave it for people for their own imaginations. There are enough platforms that are happening which kind of bring this research and comparison. Basically, it's about whether good, bad, ugly, how a destination is, what are the various ways to use this destination. We've seen a lot of OTA, a lot of use cases coming where transactional bots are there. You tell us the budget, we'll curate an itinerary for you. Machine does it, human does it. Inquiring planning is basically doing the recce of what will it take, how much money, logistics, all that stuff. Then finally is the booking stage where you finally decide where you have to do, through which itinerary you will do, pre-travel planning, during travel, experience, and the post-travel. Now, if we look at various stages, which stage matters the most? Which stage helps us do a lot of the, I would say, which is hand-holding and ways that we can help our travelers to be repeat loyal customers. Till the time the journey is going smooth, nobody really bothers. But we know with a lot of, I would say, IROPS, irregular operations that are happening, whether it is man-made, geopolitical, or any other, I would say, weather-related or any other IROPS that happens, where our travelers then need the most. AI cannot solve that. Unfortunately or fortunately, AI cannot solve that. And that's where actually the during travel and experience really matters. AI will never be able to address, at least in the near foreseeable future, because they can only prompt. There are weather APIs, weather information, geopolitical. There are prediction models that are there, but ultimately it is the human judgment. And that's where we have to be very cognizant. AI is there, but not every stage needs either an AI intervention or a human intervention or your intervention. And this is the myth that we have to decipher. What is best for technology? What is best for human? How do you bring in value and a hybrid approach to address this chaos that we see today, just not only in travel, but various other industries that are hit by AI wave. At this stage, I would like to take a small pause and ask for feedback, questions, anything that you want to ask any of the participants before I take up the next stages of how AI would transform or can transform. Roneep, are there any questions available on the chat?
1 second. This is an automated business unit. Would you be able to share real examples of AI being used in crisis and disruptions? This is from Rama Basappa.
Okay. Yeah. So there are, yes, there are, but it's more on the predictive model, Rama. AI can only prompt that there is a probability of a particular booking which could face irregular operations, which could be either a destination or a weather event or any geopolitical or related to, say, an airline. So there are multiple data elements that gets into such things. What is the on-time performance of an airline? What are the weather events that are affecting the destinations? Geopolitical, we know before even embark on a journey that there is a geopolitical issue. But weather is something which is unpredictable, whether it is a volcano, whether it is typhoons, storms, on-time performances of an airline. Whenever these things, so there is a probability model that exists, which can take and feed. It cannot 100% of the time tell you this will happen or this may not happen. And the probability models put things into perspective to a travel consultant, to a human who then deciphers and says, okay, fine, there is a very high probability or there is a low probability. I need to be prepared. So it's not a question of whether there are existing use cases to address this. The more important is, based on this predictive model, how well we get prepared to service our customers. That is the essence. Can we be more proactive rather than our customer telling us, we know that there is a probability of this flight getting delayed. There are subsequent itineraries on the land front which would require certain modification. How do I keep my customers informed? How do I proactively look at the other stages and give him a better experience or a delight? This is something which is more important than having a predictive model in place. So, and this is how we need to go about whenever we talk about AI to be used in various problem or various areas that we as a group thought that this would bring in value. So can I start with the presentation, Runeep? Is there anything, or Rama, you asked this question, did it answer you? Do let us know.
My name is Bismita Saikya. I'm a tour
Yes.
operator. Yeah. Can you know that what are the tools are used in the AI? What are the tools like for weather forecasting, or like how to you generate the clients? What are the tools that will be more relevant for us? This information.
Sure. So, Bismita, we'll take this question at the end. Tools that are there, what are the existing tools which are available? So we'll park this question for the Q&A session that we'll be having.
So just put it in the chat box, please.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now, if we go through our normal BAU, business as usual life, how things happen, what all we do as tour operators. So from a traveler's perspective, we know that there is inquiry and planning. We would get leads, hundreds of leads, but out of 100 real leads, which then have a probability of converting into sales, that funnel keeps on reducing. Most of our time really goes into responding to inquiries, planning. So that's the journey stage. What is the problem that we face is the speed to respond, the quotes that we have to give, the timeliness of the quotes, so that we are able to address. If so, there are 100 leads that comes in, can we respond to 100 of them in an accurate and a timely manner? This is one area that is of priority one, which we see, or problem one, the highest problem that we all face. Now, we face this problem because there are certain lack of automation, there is lack of standardization, there is lack of responsiveness in terms of SLAs. This still, do you think as a group, does it qualifies to be an AI use case? There are other technologies, say for example, robotic process automation. You would have heard it RPA, so to call. So while we go through the content of this presentation, we also have to be very clear which is the right technology to use when it comes to putting a right technology to fit that area where it's a concern. Second, which is again about inquiry and planning, which is basically relating to knowledge. Now, as a tour operator, we would have X number of staffs, X number of travel consultant who respond to such queries. Is there is always a variance when it comes to knowledge. There are high performers. There are people who are more, I would say, knowledgeable when it comes to that destinations, or they have been into the system for many years, by virtue of which they have I would say, effectiveness in terms of responding or being cognizant about how to respond. There are newcomers who comes in, but at a business level, what happens is that the experience which an inquiry or a traveler would get from an experienced staff versus a new fresher, that varies. From an employee standpoint, it is the value that he gives, how good he can learn and transform and be equal or be near equal to the other who are there. But from a business standpoint, how can our interaction be consistent always when there is a customer who has come in for an inquiry or wants to plan a travel? This is problem number 2 as a group that we all discuss, that we can put that up in terms of how we can make knowledge consistent so that the experience of our travelers, whether it is pre-book, book, or post-book, is consistent. During travel is another area, which is basically how do you get in touch or be in touch with your travelers so as to assure him that there is somebody behind the scene who's always available, if at all there is a need for any crisis or anything that he would need. And especially when it crisis it, when there is, say, a booking which gets cancelled due to whatever reasons, how do you re-accommodate back? How are you more proactive for the next stage or next travel itinerary, whichever he is consuming as part of his journey? This is problem number 3. And this becomes so very important in terms because There are tools available, as I talked about, that they will give you predictive or probability models. But using those models, the automation that is there at hand, how well you can recover from a crisis. So this problem number 3 is a mix of automation, knowledge, AI, which is the number 3 area that we see can be of a use case of mixed hybrid technologies for tour operators. Fourth is about dreams and discovery. Digital snapshot. How do you carry your experiences? How do you add value to the experiences of your travelers so that they are repeat customers to you? And I think this is something which gels more with the Gen Z, Gen X, Gen Ys, because everybody wants to have those digital memories available, which is more accessible, more shareable. How do we make just not only post-travel dreams, but pre-travel? Pre-travel in terms of enticing travel. Can we use various Instagrams, destination knowledge, destination videos, property videos to let the traveler experience before he embarks on that journey that this is what awaits him, and also entice travelers for more travel to be consumed. The fifth area is about post-travel and loyalty. How do we make our post-travel experience loyalty, increasing the loyalty to have more repeat business? And the last one is about, which is pre-book, supporting opportunities, which is again part of the subject of CRM, customer relationship management. How well we know what are the emerging needs of our customers, how fast, how preemptive we can be to address those emerging needs that will happen, because there are n and enough providers that will respond to that. But what technology can help you to be more relevant when those emerging needs comes in. We'll go step by step into each use case in terms of what does response speed and code time really means. I have certain statistics available on the bottom of the slide in terms of what it takes for a human-based itinerary creation and to respond to any traveler query that comes in. Today, it takes anything between, well, it says 4 to 8 hours. Pro people who've been doing this day in, day out can do it within less than 15, 20 minutes, half an hour or 1 hour at most. But by and large, the average across tour operators varies from 4 to 8 hours. Can we bring that 4 to 8 hours to 15 minutes, which is the time it takes to respond in an accurate, more accurate content-wise, rate-wise information and turn it around? There are examples that you receive a call at 9 and by noon you may be able to respond to it, or maybe it get buried among unread messages and you never are able to respond to that, which is missed opportunity. By virtue of reducing the time it takes to respond, obviously we will have more inquiries being handled. We anticipate that you will be able to handle to 4x more queries. Because for any business today, if we talk about, and especially the outbound or inbound, it is how much queries that we handle, because it's a funnel. You would receive 100, but not 100 will translate into transaction, business transaction. So we have to make avenues through technology, irrespective of which technology that we use, is to have the biggest funnel available and respond with more accurate, more structured, timely responses, having accurate destination information with accurate rates, more structured, more legible. There is a higher probability of conversion. So research says that if everything is structured, responded timely, there is a 20% conversion uplift that can happen. This is enough to justify as an ROI, return on investment, if this area is addressed through AI, RPA, and other automation technologies that are available. Quality. consistent in every responses. There are not repeat question that comes in because you have given every information that is needed for that persona. Now, there's another element that comes in. We gave quotes which are same for everyone. How can we use AI to address what we have based on the persona of the travel? Most of the time, it is leisure, which is could be a standalone individual traveling alone, friends and families. What is that persona needed? And then can you bake your quotation and itinerary based on that persona? Needless to say, obviously, when you are able to increase 4x responses, your profitability increases. So this is first use case that all of us as a group thought that if we use AI, RPA, combination of certain technologies to improve on the business, where because end of the day, any intervention, any investment that are needed to adopt a new technology, money is needed. Money will only come from the same business that we're working in. How do we increase our business volumes to fund various technological waves that will keep on coming? Any questions on this before we move to the next use case?
So, Anil, there are a couple of questions which have already come. So you
Okay.
want to take, I'll call them out. Up to you when you want to respond to them. What are the tools of AI? And the second question is the way AI helps travelers find the right trip or curator suited to them. Is there a preemptive way that AI can help agents find their right audience? Or does the value of AI lie purely in operations, inquiry, and planning?
No. Yeah, very good question.
And
There are three parts to this question. Sorry, go ahead, Rooney.
no, you go ahead. I'll take the next one after that.
Okay. Yeah. So when it comes to AI technology, AI as a technology is not something which is a GUI, graphical user interface product at the back end. While you see chat GPTs, Gemini, perplexities of the world, where you get a user interface and you start interacting with it, it fetches information, knowledge, or answers queries. But at the back end, it uses various search engines, various sources, algorithm of the model itself. Because for every AI, there is a LLM, large language module, which works behind. Then is the other aspect of marketing. Now we know that in the internet era, there was SEO and SEOE, which used to drive the website ranking. They were defined by Google that you need to be having header information. HTML header needs to have this, the body needs to have this information structured in this way. And that's how your SOE and SEO ranking used to improve or reduce. Based on this, whenever there is a search done, whether it is on Google or on Yahoo or on any of the browsers, your website would rank up and down. Then there were sponsored things that come up whenever you do search. Now, what's happening is that when you use a chat GPT or a Gemini, they're also creating the same search business in an AI world. So for AI, SEO and SEO is like history. Then look at the accuracy, the quality of the information that is available on your platform, which is again powered through some large language module or an AI intervention, for a lack of better word. Those will get searched, and from there, these chat GPTs of the world will fetch information and will also give you source. So one is the aspect of technology. It is all in APIs, which has to be consumed and baked into a UI or given a UI for people to interact. The other is sources of information. How do you rank yourself? And then the other part was of how to put that technology to use. So this is again a journey. There is no fixed tool to it. And that is what we intend to kind of make available subsequently whenever we decide. So existing, if you go to any of the OTAs or any of the platforms, they've all come up with something which is they've given, say, for example, Make My Trip has given Myra, where you can chat, you can put in natural language, and then you will get a response. So those are agentic bots. But in nutshell, the problem number one we talked about is about information dissemination, structural of information, making it available for consumption, whether it is through human-led consumption, which is traveler interaction, or agentic bot using that information and giving it to some other users. So these are the aspects which are needed, and that's why it is problem number one for us. And we have, so that's why it is ranked number one. Coming to the next area, which is knowledge. We talked about staff, consultants who are at work. How do you make their knowledge consistent? Because a person who's a fresher may not be able to give that experience to the traveler court or to a traveler and customer interaction, which could lead to, say, dissatisfaction or attrition of a customer, because then it is very difficult to do service recovery. Knowledge, when you train models, so the models have to be trained. There are already existing trained models. We talked about LLM, large language modules. So for AI to really come up and to be a use case in any of the industry, we have to train the model. It doesn't happen on its own. You would have seen certain news article that certain companies in the US and Europe are making factory workers wear wearable cameras who read and sees how a worker is doing certain job, so that tomorrow robots can do. We've already seen robots in automobile manufacturing who do the welding. Now, the welding is not done by humans anymore. It has not been done for last 6-7 years, more than that. In automobile manufacturing, those are done by robots. Robots are also a form of artificial intelligence. Because they are more accurate, the quality of welding is better. Human will have different nuances because there is variance. Why there is variance? Because each person does a job slightly differently. While there is training processes that are given, but still, because you're using a hand, mind, visual, there will be variances. But when it comes to machine, once you have trained the machine, it will thousands of times or lakhs of times will perform the same function accurately the very same way. Like, for example, calculator. It will always calculate the same way. There is no variance. A formula will always calculate it in the same way, no variance. So when it comes to knowledge as the number two intervention, which can be used using AI, is to train. So whatever knowledge as a business that you've accumulated over so many years of operations, how can you bake that into AI so that that becomes the interface to give consistent responses, consistent customer interaction, which gives a better outcome or repeat customers. So this is the number two interventions of AI, which can be used in our operations. And then there are certain outcomes which certain people or certain organizations have seen elsewhere in the world, is improvement in productivity gains. 34% gain on the least experienced staff. So his productivity immediately improves. Faster completion of tasks. The more number of queries that you're able to handle, as I told you, that you have to have a very big funnel. The mouth of the funnel has to be big so that you get more inquiries. You'll only be able to get more inquiries because if you have knowledge, consistency, you have automation in place to handle those queries. And as we go forward into the various use cases. So everything, the 5 top use cases that we as a group decided that, yeah, these are good points for AI adoption. And this is where it adds more business value. End of the day, we have to keep on increasing our business. We have to keep on increasing our relevance and continue with this way. Third is the in-trip, during the trip communication. How well you are more in touch, I would say not overly in touch with your customer, but in touch when it is needed. There's another element is, which I talked about earlier also, the IROPS. And there was a question also. There are models available there are services that are available which can be consumed to have a predictive model and to predict whether there will be a irregular operation or some crisis with this traveler or a group of traveler during their travel because of weather, man-made, geopolitical, or any other event that could happen at a particular destination. Or I talked about flight delays related to having missing certain other connections or some issue with booking that could arise. This is quite complex because then you have to consume multiple feeds, have the right predictive model. And this, I personally feel, is a very high tech end problem to solve, which also has equivalent rewards for it. Because if your model and your predictability is accurate, you have the right predictive model, the value that you as an inbound outbound tour operator will be able to provide, no technology can provide, because now you have actual intelligence taking over predictive model and bringing that value, being proactive to your travelers. And that's where you get your loyal travelers, because he or she would know that you are always on the job, not sleeping while they're enjoying their travel. You are looking at their travel, that it goes smooth, effortlessly, frictionlessly. So this is something which is the most active, because this is what differentiates human-led travel consultants and travel businesses from the other businesses which are purely technology-led. So,
Anil, can I ask a question, please?
yeah, please.
Okay. So let's say I'm operating a group, right? And this group has gone to Jaipur, and now there is some disruption in Jaipur, either at the airport or at the hotel that they're staying in. Or let's say in the more recent incident, there's the war which took place in the Middle East. Now, my obligation to my customer is for me to know if any of my customers are in any of those properties where this war has taken any toll or impact, and then to find a solution for him to come back home. These are my two fundamental roles and responsibilities. So when we talk about in-trip communication and crisis management, underscore crisis management, is there a way that we can know through AI in the last, where are my passengers at this point in time, and are they impacted by this untoward incident or not?
Right. Very good question, Rudeep. Is there any other element that you want to add to this question, or this is it?
मेरी knowledge तो इतनी limited है.
No, not that I was going in that direction. But yes, so there are two parts to this question. One is, what are the information sources that are available, which you can use to build a predictive model. Then there is another element, which is pure operational. How many of my travelers are at this point of time or in the next 8 hours, 1 day, 2 day, supposed to be in which part of the world? Yes, the second part of it, which we've already solved, we do provide this information. We have automation in place where on a click of a button, a travel agency can know out of whatever active PNRs that are there, which traveler is where. And you combine these two and be more proactive. Because most of the time you go through various PNRs, do an LD entry, look at where they are, where not they are. Geopolitical is something that you will know. You have enough feeds available, news channel, you keep on looking at it. Weather events is something which is unpredictable, which is most likely, or some man-made thing which has just come up. So there are feeds and there are technologies. So it's a combination again, consuming various API feeds, whether other alert systems that are there, airline APIs, flight informations, flight radars, delays, and then looking at your own PNRs. So yes, we did an initiative at ITQ a couple of months ago, which we call it ITQ Labs. It's a Gen AI platform, and this Gen AI platform is only doing automation of generating codes. We do consultation with our customers. They give us a use case, a problem. They're subject matter experts who will quickly generate a EXE and give it to them. Okay, this is your automation. Just to give you an example. Yes. So to answer your need, yes, both, if you bring both of them together, then is where you are actually doing a perfect, I would say, servicing or delight to your travelers, to your customers, to make them loyal and be part of the repeat business.
Yeah. So just to summarize, what I'm looking at is one, information whether any of my travelers are in that city. Two, if there is any any situation where they need to be transported back, then I should quickly be able to give them options, etc., for them to come back. And these can be prompted by me rather than prompted by the customer. That's the way I see the value of this.
Absolutely. So if we go back to the number one problem, when we say quotation management, itinerary management, time to respond. So what are we doing in that? We're taking all your contracts, all your feeds, whether digital, non-digital, into the system. Now, as part of your operations, you would know, yeah, there are, say, fleet operator who provide charter. Now, scheduled flights have stopped, but charter is available. Because there is a group affluent enough and you have to take them out, is a charter available? Whether your own contracts, and the way that we are addressing this through an association. Can we collaborate as an association that there are certain niche services, niche content that all of you may have and can be consumed across your members? You may not have a charter contract, but say Huma would have a charter contract. Can you dip into his contracting, use that service and provide to your travelers? That's which is called social or co-creation. Yes, you can do it. You can do it with much more ease, much more speed, much more accuracy.
Okay.
So this is all what it is when it comes to in-trip communication crisis management. It helps you when you are doing, obviously, I won't say that you are looking at profiting out of misery, but you are basically helping and making your customers be more dependable and loyal to you. And that's how I look at it. And that's how you add to profitability, which is again led by technology. Digital shop front is about, again, point number one in terms of how much you can digitize and make your content available, how you can have more AI-generated answers, AI-generated experiences, pre-booking experiences, consistent information across channels. Again, AR, VR, which is augmented reality, virtual reality, can you make them experience? If somebody wants to go for, say, let me put a better example, somebody wants to go on a sabbatical for a month. Now, if this inquiry comes in, how will you've been kind of handling events, you've been handling post-wedding, honeymoons, leisure, family, 4, 5 days, 10 days, 15 days. Somebody comes that I want to plan a sabbatical. How do you respond through an AR, VR, augmented reality, virtual reality? This is a unique example of how you can create new business avenues. With more and more Gen Z, Gen X, they want to take frequent breaks. There are Gen Z who say, I'm off for 6 months, I don't want to work. I only want to chill out. How do you address this? So I think this digital shop front is something that just not only contracts that you have, which is for destinations, the private fares that you have, or any other thing that you have which you can digitize. You can do it through RPA also. You don't need an artificial intelligence for it. But using that and adding knowledge and context, address it to the traveler type is something which then becomes an AI use case. And with experiences, with pre-experience, to call it, you have more business that can come in. There's an old Hindi saying, "Jo dikta hai, wahi bikta hai." If you show, then only it will get sold. This is what, in nutshell, if we call it your digital shop front, not just rates, experience or pre-experience in terms of AR and VR. Any questions before I move to the problem statement number 5?
How can small and medium-sized travel agencies adopt AI without heavily investing? I think we should take that little later
We'll
as we
take it. Yeah, we'll
conclude.
take it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Manual operation, ceiling and repeat business. Basically, we know that uh, cab is late, check-in is delayed, nobody flagged it. So these are typical operational problems that we see, you being seeing day in, day out, follow-ups, corporate contracts, renewals. These are typical manual in nature, which has a lot of bearing on repeat business. This was another use case that we thought is good for AI intervention, which is again combination of RPA, automation. We know that, let me put a use case. We know our travelers, we have their profiles. They last did this travel with us, which was for some event. Now we know that his passport is expiring, his visa is expiring. And if he has to qualify, how proactively we can kind of reach out. We know that our rate with the DMC or a destination is expiring. This is the validity. We've given quotes. How do you manage and balance your validity of contract, your customer profiles, their validity in terms of visas, passports, events that are coming up, marry them to have more repeat business? This is what is a complex problem because you're looking at many variables. The validity of quotations across, you've say taken advances, you have to do back-end arrangements. Is that contract valid while you've taken money? Now, once you've taken money, you can't say no. You have to accommodate. So putting all your contracts, all your validities, customers, validities of various things, uh, corporate contracts, all that. And how do you have more repeat business is something which is, again, AI use case that we thought is good enough. Uh, it has huge bearings on your profitability and bottom line. So this is the reason. And obviously, it improves your quality, profitability, productivity. And that is where the concierge comes, which is basically bot comes in, loyalty comes in, re-engagement comes in. So combination of CRMs, this is all what happens. So this is problem statement number 5. Any questions on this? Okay. So
Okay, go ahead.
So we've done with the 5 use cases. So the rest of the journey for more stages is basically AI research concierge, AI booking or coordinators, trip assistant, augmented reality and virtual reality. So these are emerging opportunities worth exploring depending upon the maturity of how the world is, how we mature as a group is something which would then happen subsequently as we progress in our journey towards adoption. These are the various smart, certain start small, scale your business, not to do everything in one go. It's not possible. There has to be acclimatizations and benefit being accumulated, or so to call ROI at every stage. So I think how we as a group see it as what are the quick wins that we can do, which can perfectly fit into our AI intervention is itinerary, quotations, email writing, summarization, lead captures, chatbot, and creation of AI-based content, which is getting into our emails, whatever contracts, rates, services that we have. This is quick wins, which will bring in a lot of traction, at least have some ROI coming in, improvement in productivity, which is immediate low-hanging fruit. Medium term is talked about customer relationship, CRM and AI put together, knowledge assistant, which is increasing the knowledge of having knowledge consistency, marketing automation, which is through improvement of our portals or having more AI ready content being available so that whenever there is an inquiry which is coming through a traveler using an AI chatbot of chat GPT, perplexities, blah, blah of the world, it uses more structured information available through our chatbots that are available. And long term is AI concierge, uh, predictive analysis. We talked about crisis management and all. Hyper personalization is something which is the next frontier. How we can personalize it, how we can know the psychology of our travelers. And that's another use case of how information is put into our AI models to know that Runi, as a traveler, his likes, his dislikes, what is his psychology, how do I need to interact with him, how can I sell him a content, sell him a trip, how will it happen? So that is hyper personalization. Dynamic packaging, we talked about as a group, somebody having say contract charter contracts available in a destination, not everybody would have. How can we create this dynamic co-creation of packaging, just not only what we've contracted but as a group, so that collectively we are able to bring better services. AI revenue optimization, looking at profitability at every stage, that these are the missed opportunities, these are the further things that can be improved to increase and stay relevant. So this is something which is future ready, or kind of look at how various intervention and progression could happen. We just brought in some perspective of how ready as a group we are, or where would be. So traditional agencies are more beginners at this stage because they have excellent manual operations, WhatsApp and phone call, which is more manual in nature. Then there are people who are ready, which are digital ready, which have websites, CRM, social media integration, online payments, that is digital ready. Then there is a third level of agencies which is using chat GPTs or AI content or AI itinerary quotations. Those are kind of looked as growing. Then there are AI integrated who have done integration that are talked about various use cases. Those are advanced. And then there are then there are people who are native. And fortunately, we have fellow panelist, Huma, who is AI native, who has already done certain work in AI and is at a very advanced stage. So these are the various stages that comes up in terms of how we define where do our business stands. And I will leave it up to you to define where you stand at these 5 stages of AI adoption. This is a pretty busy slide. Part of it, in terms of various, the 5 slides that I covered had these in terms of what are the outcomes, which is time it reduces, the benefit it becomes, knowledge consistency, faster responses, more profitability. And if we go through level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 5, this is what the business stands to gain as part of getting onto the AI wave. So I'll just leave it for all of you to kind of see this slide, try to see the numbers on your right-hand side. Does it make sense? Does it make sense as a group, as an individual business, of where you can benefit out of the intervention which Pata is trying to do or trying to do for its member organization? And this presentation will be available to you, people who have participated, so that you can go back and go through the various content and statistical figures that are available to you, being presented during this webinar. This is more quantifiable. What we talked about in the last slide, various stages, level 1, level 2 to level 5. What is before and what it will be after, just to quantify whenever we as a group decide, okay, fine, this is what we will take up, what it is today and what will it be tomorrow. So first is customer inquiries. AI captures, qualifies instantly, whether it does a window shopper or really good intent or just kind of doing or not serious and non-serious. Quotation turnaround under 15 minutes. That's the KPI. Quality of proposal, which is based on good knowledge, consistency. Customer communication, proactive, follow-ups, support in terms of bot, uh, routine queries handled immediately by the bot, qualified where it requires a human intervention goes to human, knowledge, productivity gains, repeat customers, and ultimately looking at business scalability. So this is what are the outcomes that we expect after the interventions if we take up. What are the areas when we as a group would be looking at? There are various providers. Who is the right AI partner? Not all who you see. There are various sponsored links that you keep happen to be coming every now and then. First and foremost, does he understand the business vertical that we come in? Does the AI partner understand travels? Travel, just not only one part of the operations, but everything that comes in as part of industry knowledge. Can it start small? We talked about 5 stages. We just didn't say that we'll do everything. No, it is step-by-step approach. How to integrate existing systems. For example, you all use GDSs, whether it is Sabre, Amadeus, or Travelport. You use LCCs. You use various hotel aggregators. You use various other DMCs. How well those systems can be integrated. Security. I said that security, information security is not going to trust because our customers, our travelers expect data privacy. They trust us. That is why they come for repeat business. Can we scale up? We start small. Can an AI partner scale up fast? Trainings. Training is just not only online trainings. Presence, feet on the street, handholding, it all part of training. Business outcomes, measurable business outcomes, not only in terms of numbers, but in terms of what it will deliver. In the previous slide, I explained that this is the outcome that is expected or this should come. So these are the various, I would say, KPIs for a technology partner selection. I think this is from my side. You all know ITQ. ITQ has been serving all of you. Travel trade for last more than 30 years. AINS is a partner to us who specializes only into AI. So AI is artificial intelligence on operating system. That's what AI on OS means. Our friends, we work on a lot of interventions together. We've done work already on AI in terms of we've done AI intervention on fair rules. It's a patent pending application that ITQ has developed along with AINS. So there is enough, I would say, knowledge, acumen, and willingness to do certain interventions. With this, I will thank you, hand it over back to Runeep. Thank you so much for having me, allowing me to speak my mind out. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Mr. Parashar. Back to you, Runeep.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Anil. I think you've left a lot of food for thought on the table. And People are going to have to mull over what they've heard. We're happy to share your presentation with them. And if they want a recorded version, I'm happy to share the recorded version so that they can quickly come up to speed and ideas on how they want to proceed further. Um, I think some of them will access you for the future, and that's only a good sign because those are the people who are ready to embrace uh, embrace AI as quickly as possible. Uh, so this AI is not something which I can say we can bring to you in a conclusive manner. It's an ongoing process which will continue to change. What we see today on AI may not be there 6 months from now or a year from now. Maybe there's a different model as far as AI is concerned,
That's the
or
fastest depreciating commodity. Models
fastest.
are the fastest depreciating commodity in the world today.
Right. So,
Technological obsolescence.
So I think I think I know the expanse of people who are attending this webinar, largely between medium and medium large entrepreneurs. So uh, start small. It's a good way to begin. Test yourselves out. Test your team for its adaptability. Test your appetite for investment, and then take the next step or the leap that you want to take. Because at the end of the day, this will engulf you in some form or the other. And if you move first or sooner than your competition, then you will only gain from it. Um, so with that, I think I want to also thank a gentleman called Sumit Rastogi from INOS, who's worked very closely with me and with Anil in developing this presentation for you. I can tell you now, this is the seventh iteration. This does Such presentations don't happen with one shot of the bat. So there's a lot of work put into this. Again, thank you to my AI think tank team for having provided their inputs, and of course to Anil for that matter, in terms of supporting us, because you know it's taken man hours. I know Anil has invested man hours from his precious time for bringing all of this together, and uh, I know he's doing it at Anil Parashar's bidding, but now I think I can come to him directly in the future. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very, very much. Is Sanjeev on the chat, or Jatinder on the chat? Would you like to say anything?
Any questions that is left unanswered, Rooney? We're more
No,
than happy. We have some time.
1 second. Hang on a minute. I think I see another one. No, thank you so much for your time. Got to go. What are the tools of AI?
Tools of AI are primarily models, LLM models, which are
1 second.
used at the back end. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Recorded version. Thank you for. All right. I don't think we have any more questions.
There is a question. There is a question. The way AI helps travelers find the right trip curator suited to them. Is there a preemptive way that AI can help agents find their right audience? Yes. I talked about the new marketing. Previously, when we talked about website, the SEO and SEO scores that needs to be improved for you to get ranked in Google searches or Yahoo searches or any of the searches. Now, when you have your website, your portal, when you augment it with the right AI engines, right AI information, the accuracy and quality of output, that's how. So this will basically be a agentic bot interacting with your agentic bot. And when those bots are of quality, that's where it improves in ranking. And that is now how you will get travelers. because travelers will not come and visit your website. They will be interacting with these AI bots. And this is the new way or the new way of marketing and reaching out to your travelers. Back to you, Rooney.
Yeah, I thought did we answer this one, Anil? The way AI helps travelers find the right trip curator
Yeah,
suited to them.
this is what I answered.
Oh, this is what you answered. Okay, great. Okay, then I don't think
I
I
think
see anything.
Nitish has the questions that I also want to ask a question. Please go ahead. There are a couple of them who want to ask here. Please go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have to unmute and ask those questions. Yeah.
As a small company, we are using Chat GBT
GPT
and
and
Gemini for itinerary.
So, where is the difference of what you do and what your traveler is doing? You would use the same thing, he'll also do the same thing. Where is the value that you're bringing in? Mr. Parashar cannot unmute himself. Can somebody unmute Mr. Parashar?
Okay, I'll ask somebody to see.
Yes, I can unmute him. Just a minute, sir.
Please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When you use only ChatGPT, which is freeware available for anyone, and creating itinerary, yes, but is there any uniqueness or any value that you will bring beyond an end traveler who's also using ChatGPT? And this is something that we need to be mindful. If he can do it on his own, what is the value that you're providing? Your value is on all the 5 things that we talked about. Collectively, is that what will take you ahead of the curve? Yeah.
So does my think tank have any questions? Homa, Rohit, Guldeep, Jasmine, Jatinder? Does anybody have any questions?
So I think, yeah, I would like to thank Mr. Parashar because while he says very proudly that he doesn't understand technology, but the way he understands business will put the best of technologies at shame.
He's a very
thank you, Mr.
humble man.
Parashar. Very humble, yes.
Thank you, Rooney. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sumit, Ayanos. Basically, I just want to say 2-3 things from my side as parting. This is a complex subject, and do not get overwhelmed by this artificial intelligence. If I was to say in a nutshell, what it does is takes you from a reactive mode to a predictive mode. And how it does is more and more information is fed into what is called LLMs, and that information becomes a repository and it tests a situation, picks out that solution and throws it to you. So it's a learning program. It's a game of patience. It'll come. There are complexities involved with this. Already people are moving away from the words that I've been reading on the chatbot to the Chinese models because they are cheaper. Now, there are security issues, governance. I'm not getting into all of that because that's for another day. All I want to tell all of you that, we are part of the same industry. If you have any questions, send it to Runip's office and let them put it together and we can have more sessions, as many as you want. We can get into practical mode because it has to be unraveled slowly. It's not something which can be like, first day I'm going to do it. Nobody can do it because that the very word itself means more and more information has to be fed to get information back. So do not, I know every single place artificial intelligence is being thrown at you. Every client wants to know aap AI kar rahe ho. First of all, I can tell you with confidence, many of the things which are being touted as AI are actually automation and nothing more than that. But because there is a fashion statement about it, so I'm basically trying to calm all of you down that relax. It'll happen. It's a phase program. आपको कोई भी कंसर्न है प्लीज भेजिए रुनीप जी के ऑफिस पे वी विल एड्रेस दैट स्पेसिफिक इशू ऑफलाइन ऑनलाइन so that all of us come to page over a period of time. And do not get overwhelmed because everywhere this is the fashion statement and do not worry about it too much. Thank you so much from my side.
Thank you, Anil. And thank you, Anil, again for all your diligence, support, encouragement. And I think the last words of wisdom from Anil Parashar are very practical. It's a journey that we have to set out on. The sooner we join the train, the bandwagon, the better it is for us. I can't say the easier it will be for us, but the better it will be for us. And because you can't escape it, even if you want to escape it, you cannot escape it. Um, uh, the old ABC under your armpit days are far, far, far behind us. We now have to give the customer what he is used to, what he would like for us to present to him. So with that, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Team AI, and thank you, ITQ and INOS. Very, very grateful for your time and inputs.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.